One of the reasons I'm not interested in the idea of having kids is because no matter how you look at this life, it all boils down to survival. But in the world we live in, or the Matrix, whatever you want to call it, it makes life seem like it's about other stuff rather than just pure survival. Like graduating high school or college, or finding your dream job, winning an athletic competition, making the cover of a magazine, becoming a race car driver, owning a nightclub, or maybe even having sex with 5 girls at once so you can brag about it to your friends, etc. ad infinitum. All of this is beside the point. And also, take note that all the previous mentioned endeavors are all based on competition. You see, another thing that is closely related to survival is competition. And in order to have any form of competition, you first and foremost need to have what? Competitors. And in order to have competitors, you need what? Sex. Yes, bear with me here. You need sex to produce the very competitors that you are competing against in the first place. So with that being said, it becomes very easy to see that the greatest competition on this earth is the competition for mates and sex, which thus keeps this endless cycle of survival and competition going on forever and ever. It's pretty easy to see that in this game we call reality or nature, the most ruthless creatures who are willing to do absolutely anything, including torture, murder, and deceive, to anybody and even members of their own species to survive and maintain their continuity in this life, are the ones who have the best chance of making it to the next day. And they ultimately become the creatures who propagate their genes and bring more offspring into this world, while the less ruthless and moral creatures who try to prevent suffering as much as possible go extinct. Could it be that strength, intelligence, and imagination are not prerequisites for survival and power, but merely qualifications for slavery and or extinction? Over time, this battle gets worse and more insane, with not only the animals but also the humans taking extreme measures on their fellow beings in order to survive, promote their businesses, sell their products, and infinitely expand by any means necessary. In my opinion, and as an example, one of the most egregious acts of ruthlessness on humanity exists in the fast food industry, as an example. At first, fast food advertising used to be something as simple as large signs inciting people to come try their food. But in today's world, it has become an outright act of violence on the psychology of people's minds, simply because someone wants to outcompete the other fast food businesses. Large corporations spend millions of dollars paying top scientists, psychologists, and neurologists to study human behavior and how the brain works. The study on an obsessive and psychotic level on how the human body operates, not to help humanity, but in order to concoct advertising rituals that will literally hypnotize people into buying their products. Even taking it as far as developing artificial flavors or figuring out the exact amount of specific ingredients to put in their food, which will temporarily alter the chemistry of the human body to make people have extreme dopamine rises and crashes, which again seems to literally take control over humans and turn them into robots who will keep coming back for more. I make all my food at home, never eat fast food, and extremely rarely ever go out to eat anywhere. And even I get hungry just by merely looking at the McDonald's logo, for crying out loud. While it's a sophisticated and intelligent system, it is vile, disgusting, and mostly undetectable. But commercialism isn't a topic I'm really interested in talking about because it's not the root of the problem here. And plus, you can find videos on YouTube talking about that kind of stuff. They have millions of views. Tons of people talk about this stuff every day. It's been discussed, plenty of documentaries for decades, and nothing has changed. You don't have to be intelligent to see money and consumerism runs this world. It's nothing new. I'm more interested in something hardly anyone discusses or even thinks about. I'm more interested in asking questions like, what is the purpose of the human body being able to feel torturous degrees of pain? If I was to ever be tortured, God forbid, why can't I, at my own volition, turn off the pain receptors in my body so that way I don't have to experience this agonizingly painful situation? This is how nature designed our bodies, and it is something that needs to be changed, because it, along with the laws of physics, are all vile and disgusting. I don't see any reason why anybody should have to feel or endure any level of pain for any reason. It's kind of funny how almost all religions emphasize that. Bear the pain, go through the pain, and that's how you will achieve. So you suffer your whole life in the hope that one day some miracle will happen. Not a chance. U.G. Krishnamurti used to always assert that human thought, ideas, teachings, and the law cannot be used to solve humanity's problems. That humanity's problems are not ethical nor psychological, but rather neurological, meaning it is a problem that has to do with how the human brain and nervous system functions. Haven't you noticed that no matter how many laws we create, no matter how many police officers there are, no matter how many times people attend church, etc., people still act aggressively and inhumane, and still break the law and harm their fellow human beings from time to time. Humans simply cannot and will never do the right thing when left to their own devices. So all these things have failed us. So it seems like the only two solutions to get us out of this hellscape that we live in, or at least make it more manageable and habitable, is to stop replicating ourselves or use AI technology to alter the chemistry of the human body. Now, a lot of people might scoff at that, but I'd like to ask, what would be your alternative? Wouldn't it be nice to genetically program humans to grow their limbs back if they ever lose them or get them cut off? Most people never recognize the fact that this earth has been uninhabitable its entire existence. It wasn't until just within the last 100 years or so that humans, not animals, were able to make this place somewhat a comfortable place to exist. But even still, only a small percentage of humans are actually lucky enough to have somewhat comfortable lives. People have to get this stupid, idiotic idea out of their heads that nature is this benevolent, lovey-dovey thing that is looking after us, wants the best for us, and wants us to evolve and grow spiritually. Whatever that word spiritual is supposed to mean. At the very least, nature is indifferent. It is not benevolent nor malevolent. But there is a chance that nature could be consciously malevolent, meaning it is, under its own volition, calculatedly inflicting pain and suffering on sentient species for its own reasons. Most people have this idea that nature is this commendable entity that is worth worshiping. They fail to understand that what they are worshiping is power itself, meaning they erroneously assume that just because something is more powerful than a human being, that automatically means it is a good thing, capital G, good. Or that they should worship it, or that they should not interfere with or try to change it. To me, nature appears to be a failed experiment, an out-of-control machine that keeps perpetuating itself automatically. It's just this huge stimulus response machine. I akin nature to a severely mentally retarded 8-year-old who stumbled across the keys to a near indestructible car with a self-perpetuating fuel system, whereby the child managed to find its way inside the car, managed to crank up the engine, put it in drive, and began unleashing absolute hell on the city he lives in. Due to the child's severe mental retardation, he ends up driving through people's houses, slamming into pedestrians, igniting fires, and overall turning his city into a warlike zone. And because this particular car is very hard to destroy and stop, the carnage, pain, and torture of other beings continues indefinitely. This particular child is also amused by all the carnage because it has psychopathic and apathetic tendencies due to its severe mental retardations. He has no ability to feel empathy whatsoever. In other words, he enjoys seeing stuff blow up, whether it's a building falling down or a human screaming in agony. But at the same time, this child also enjoys seeing happy and pleasurable things. A man and woman falling in love, eating chocolate cake, having sex, etc. If it was only chaos and destruction, it would be boring. If it was only pleasure and happiness, it would be boring. It wants both. Humans are very similar in this regard. As the Bible says, God created man in his own image. And behold, the man is become as one of us. So according to that, humans must like the same stuff that God likes. Come on, just admit it. We humans love watching destruction just as much as we like watching creation. We love watching a horror movie just as much as we love watching a happy movie. That's how nature works. Every time humans figure out a way to negate the horrible effects of nature and keep themselves safe from torture and pain, nature always finds a way to fuck it all up. An example of what I mean would be a hurricane or tornado destroying people's houses. So what's so bad about technology? Wouldn't you appreciate it if technology could make a hurricane disappear, or maybe alter the body so that we don't have to eat food or drink water anymore, and we can just survive off of breathing oxygen? There would be no need to fight over resources anymore. There's a lot to talk about on that particular subject, but I'll just end the video right here and ask you guys to think about how the world really is right now and maybe what it could be. I'll see you guys later.